250 million people are not garbage. How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
USA!
No.
You are amazing. Ready to take out the garbage?
Go Beanie.
Good to see you guys. Love you, brother. We took out some trash today. Good luck. Good to see you. We took out some real trash. Good to see you, man. How are you? Good to see you. How are you? Good to see you.
You big trash!
Thank you. Yeah, we had some fun with this today.
Horrible. Very horrible.
Yeah. Personally, what did that mean to you?
I felt disrespected.
If there's one thing that we can do, we're about 6 days away from being in a position to do it. Okay? If there's one thing we can do to make life better for you and people who drive garbage trucks across this country, what is that going to be for you?
Keep the prices down.
Okay. You think we can do that? We're going to do that. We promise you, man. You put us in there, we're going to get that job done.
That
This
boy
man's been a
got
great
that black
soldier.
tea
Give
on.
a round of applause. North Carolina, for the hurricane and everything else.
Vivek really down with the gang for real. Like he down with everything.
I rock with Vivek, man.
Everybody loves Vivek.
Like, bro, it's crazy. But it's like he ain't not on Congress. He not on that. He just down for the cause.
No, I watched the video of him working the shift. He looked like he was a little nervous to get close to that truck when that claw came down. I'd be scared too, though.
You know, it just annoys the hell out of me.
Look at this nerd.
Right, I understand the politics. David is absolutely right. I get it. But these are folks who think that they can say anything. They can behave in the most horrifying ways. They can degrade and demean communities. They can scapegoat Haitians in Springfield. They can call entire communities, right, murderers and the like. And then when someone calls them, on what they're saying, they clutch their damn pearl. And it's part of this ongoing grievance that somehow the rest of the country looks down on them. And so it feeds into that logic. I understand the politics. I understand what Vice President Harris has to say. But these folk think they can say and do anything and be as insulting and as mean-spirited as they want to be. And when they're called out about it, they clutch their pearls. It's a kind of hypocrisy that's mind-numbing, and it rhetorically handcuffs us. We don't need to call people deplorables or despicable or garbage, but we need to call them out on their nonsense and their hatred.
Hey, I just want to let y'all know, Eddie Glaude is a black man who cried on TV about a Democrat cause.
Hold on.
About Joe Biden.
Hold on. I just thought about it.
He's one of them. Hell yeah, he cried.
I just thought
He
about
cried like a
something,
hoe.
man.
Where do they find these sissified Weenie Hut Jr. men, man?
Do you know how many things that
Stop
we
crying.
could possibly name in here that the left has called the right?
Oh, a million things.
Nazis, racists, fascists, sexist, misogynist,
Xenophobic,
And they have something for each group of people.
homophobic,
If you're
transphobic.
white, you're this type. If you're black and you support Republicans, you're this type. If you're white and you support
white
Trump,
supremacy
They call them
talking
white
point.
nationalists.
Yeah, I seen a clip of Ryan
Christian
Clark
national-
today. I was like, oh, it was so annoying. He was like, the MAGA people, they're all racist. This and
Yeah,
that.
no, Ryan Clark be acting like a puss. That's my frat brother. I rock with Ryan on his sports takes and other things. But when they be making everything so victim-y, and they always try to use their skin color
the
as a
black
shield.
man and the
Once
black
you
man.
start operating in that realm of rhetoric, you lost me. I mean, can we just speak on things as men and be men? Like, once I seen this guy, Eddie Glaude or whatever, crying on TV, you lost me, brother. Anything you say holds no weight with me, because you cried like a on national television.
I just can't believe that. And
I just can't get down with that,
it's
brother.
mind blowing for the stuff that I guess I'm. Not,
Said they think
not
they can.
us,
He said
but
they think they can speak any kind of way. Well, yeah, it's kind of your amendment,
like
First
something
Amendment
that possibly
right.
could be happening. It's not a guaranteed fact or not a fact. That's rhetoric, but saying someone's a white supremacist is not rhetoric. That just was kills.
I
me,
just
bro.
think it's really ridiculous because they almost like they guilt trip people into trying to align with them, and if you don't align with them, even for the simplest, most reasonable reason, they slap these labels on you to make you feel bad or make you feel like you're wrong. So the people on the side that do align with them feel like they're morally superior and that you're wrong. And I think that's ridiculous. Like, people have their reasons for voting how they vote, aligning how they align. Just leave it at that. And then, you know, it's crazy. The left is the ones that always divides people with these labels and titles. They're the most divisive.
And then he gonna say it's mind boggling. It's mind for us.
We are now 6 days out from Election Day. Nearly 60 million votes have already been cast in early in-person voting and through the mail. And the latest polls suggest the race could not be tighter. Both campaigns are locking their focus on the battleground states. Vice President Kamala Harris rallied in North Carolina and Pennsylvania today and is in Wisconsin tonight. Former President Donald Trump was in North Carolina earlier and tonight is also in Wisconsin. He landed in Green Bay just a short time ago and then pulled this campaign stunt, speaking to reporters from a garbage truck. Proves that he and his supporters are giving no grace to a gaffe by President Biden, where he, in his explanation, inadvertently called Trump supporters garbage. This, of course, was in response to that racist joke about floating garbage told at a Trump rally just last weekend. Vice President Harris is distancing herself from the negativity and trying to drive home her unifying message that if elected, she will represent all Americans.
Stand by for a moment. Trump is answering some questions from reporters.
Joe Biden to make that statement, it's really a disgrace. I don't think they'll have to be used. I think we're going to have a big victory. And I think 250 million people in this country are going to be very happy because we're going to bring the country back. We're a nation in decline. Very, very serious decline, and we're going to bring our country back.
Did you know that Elon Musk was in close contact with President Bush? Did you know about this? Did you know about Elon Musk calls and close communication?
No, I don't know. Elon is a great guy. He's one of our geniuses, and we have to protect our geniuses. We have to take care of our geniuses. There aren't too many of them. Yes, please. And I have to begin by saying 250 million Americans are not garbage. This week, Kamala has been comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. And now, speaking on a call for her campaign last night, crooked Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage. No way. No way. And they actually mean it, even though, without question, my supporters are far higher quality than crooked Joe or lion Kamala. Higher quality. My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. That's true. You can't be president if you hate the American people, which I believe they do.
That was hilarious, bro. All right, now the campaign in they Duffy a little bit now.
Yeah, this is a good move.
This is a great move.
They let Joe Biden fall for a trap this time.
Joe been falling for the traps.
You know, it's very interesting that people are acting like MAGA or Trump supporters are wrong for being offended for being called garbage. I think a lot of people.
Damn, for real?
Oh yeah. I've seen multiple posts talking about you think you're allowed to be offended. You're MAGA. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But they was called Nazis. I don't think trash is not that bad.
All the rhetoric that comes from MAGA, you think you can be offended now. But it's really interesting because like we've said many times, the news will take insignificant situations and blow them up and like act like it's representative of everybody.
But they have to do that, bro. They gotta push their agenda, bro. They won't have no headlines for the day.
I think there's a lot of working class people that just want to be able to survive in America off their hard work that support Trump because they think he's their best bet. So to be called garbage for that, pretty interesting.
These polls that we're looking at here and we're talking about, Frank, notably, they were done before President Biden made his comments seemingly describing Trump supporters as, quote, garbage. The Harris campaign is trying to downplay the effect of those comments. Of course they are. But I wonder if you think that those comments are going to move voters.
It's going to be huge because this is not some comedian saying something stupid and offensive at a rally where he should have been basically disinvited. This is the president of the United States endorsing his vice president saying something. And I know that there's different interpretations about what he said. It's still inappropriate. He still shouldn't be doing it. And I've watched Trump already seize this. the basket of deplorables was significant, was meaningful in 2016. In 2024, I can promise you that this is going to drive Trump turnout. He's doing it already. I can see, I'm sure there's going to be ads on as soon as tonight about this. This may be a turning point for those final 3%, and that's all it is, who still need to be persuaded. And I'll offer you guys something. We're going to be talking to them over the next couple of days. If you want to do something on Monday, the day before, focusing on these last persuadables, I will tell you that Trump offends them, and they don't like him as a person. But Harris scares them because they don't know where she stands, and they feel that she hasn't been clear on some of the key issues, most notably immigration. Trump's got his weaknesses. Harris has her weaknesses, and they seem to be canceling each other out, which is why Harry's correct. This election is too close to call.
I don't know if that'll really get swing voters though, because I mean your opinion's already kind of made up.
Yeah, I don't think this will affect swing voters.
Yeah, your opinion's already pretty much made up. Like
swing voters have decided.
Yeah, I think swing voters go more off of like the economy
policies.
Probably. Yeah, they're not gonna go off what anybody says.
I think it's very interesting though. I think it's very interesting how the media has been in like complete cleanup mode, trying to justify the comments. When if you just watch the original source, you can see how clear as day the comments were in attack.
That's what he said.
Well, that's just my opinion.
I feel like it go both ways though. I feel like somebody could be like, well, I mean, they are kind of garbage. I should vote Kamala, and then that can go like that, or it can go like, hey, that's wrong to say as a president. That's pretty much rhetoric right there. Like you're saying, just because they wanted to vote somewhere different, they're a piece of trash.
You know, I
don't think they think like
but
that.
But that's also...
I wish a lot more Americans would pay attention, though, because, like, the news, as we've seen it in this entire election cycle, has taken a lot of things out of context and put it in front of millions of people and then explained the context to push their agenda from their side and then told people how to interpret it. And people have taken that and run with it rather than do their own research and put the missing context and then draw their own interpretation. So
now that one was clear as day. I don't know if anybody.
Oh, well, I'm just saying as an example. So now that you finally have something where people can just look at the original clip and see like, well, they're lying to me. I think that they can take that and run.
I don't think they're gonna play the original clip. So that's why I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think
they're definitely they control it. You know, maybe Fox can go on with it, but you know,
maybe this is a time we can see like independent media sources like X thrive and change an election. You know, we'll see though.
Just 28% of Americans, voters, think the country is going in the right direction, is on the right track. And I want you to put that into a historical perspective for you. Okay, what's the average percentage of the public that thinks that the country is on the right track when the incumbent party loses? It's 25%. That 25% looks an awful bit like that 28% up there. It doesn't look anything like this 42% doesn't look anything like this 28%. So the bottom line is, very few Americans think the country is on the right track at this particular point. It tracks much more with when the incumbent party loses than with it wins. In fact, I went back through history. There isn't a single time in which 28% of the American public thinks the country is going on the right track in which the incumbent party actually won. They always lose when just 28% of the country believes that the country is on the right track.
It is you are swimming upstream if you're trying to win in this environment. Also, President Biden, on a micro level, a lot of the coverage today is over something President Biden said. On the macro level, what kind of a weight is he on the Harris campaign?
Yeah, so, Joe Biden isn't on the ballot, but he's certainly in the minds of Americans, right? So I went back and I looked, okay, was the successor of the same party when the president's net approval rating was negative at this point, which Joe Biden's most definitely is? He's 15 points underwater. Now, we don't know if Kamala Harris is going to succeed Joe Biden, but we know back in 2008, George W. Bush, his approval rating was down in the 20s. Did a Republican succeed George W. Bush? No. How about in 1968? Lyndon Baines Johnson, his net approval rating was negative. Did a Democrat succeed Lyndon Baines Johnson? No. How about in 52? Harry S. Truman, his approval rating was in the 20s, if not the upper teens. Did a Democrat succeed Harry S. Truman in 52? My memory, no. No, as Kate Baldwin says.
Diana.
No.
He dropped the nuclear bomb.
Well played.
Close. Wrong time of the year.
Well played.
Dwight Eisenhower, a Republican, succeeded Harry S. Truman. So the bottom line is, for Kamala Harris to win, she'd have to break history, be a Democrat to succeed Joe Biden when Biden's approval rating is way underwater.
Again, it could happen. It just doesn't in recent history for sure. Okay, registration numbers, Harry.
Yeah, Republicans have been registering voters in big, huge numbers. They have been gaining in party registration versus the Democrats in the swing states with party registration. We're talking Arizona. I think it's a 5-point. They've expanded their lead from 5 points from where it was back in 2020. How about Nevada? Big Republican registrations there. They like the early vote. How about North Carolina? Big Republican registration games. How about Pennsylvania? We spoke about it before a few months ago. Big Republican party registration gains versus from where they were 4 years ago. So Republicans are putting more Republicans in the electorate. The Democratic number versus the Republican number has shrunk. And so the bottom line is, if Republicans win come next week, Donald Trump comes next week, the signs all along will have been obvious. We would look at the right direction being very low, Joe Biden's approval rating being very low, and Republicans really registering numbers. You can't say you weren't warned.
Again, this is the data which supports the idea of a Trump victory. Tomorrow, viewers, you will get the other side. Stay tuned. Kate.
It's not even the content, but sometimes Harry's delivery is just...
Shut up!
Harry,
I'm sorry, I shouldn't send it.
Very scary. You're just a very scary man. You're a very scary man.
He's scary. Why is he
He
scary?
said his delivery, like the way he speaks. And
No, he
delivers
did.
his
He make it
message.
seem like it's real.
I did like his delivery. I love the way he broke it down, and I think the next few days will be very telling if that theory is correct.
Less than a week out.
It's on Tuesday. It's my birthday. I think I'm gonna go early vote on Friday. Trying to come with me, bud.
Man. Yes, bro. I'm putting my vote in.
We're gonna go wait in line early vote, guys.
I appreciate that, CNN. I appreciate for telling the truth. Some polls make me nervous because y'all switch up every day. Tomorrow they're gonna say Kamala win.
You know, I feel like they say it's a close race to try to keep their narrative intact, but then when they show like polls and like things that signify like where concern should be, they signify all the time that Democrat voters in this election should be very concerned. I mean, I feel like even over the past 2 to 3 weeks, that's constantly been the message that I've been getting.
Well, actually, from what he said, we can't deny the facts right there. He said more people
it had to be history.
More people are registering Republican in these states. So if you're registering Republican, they gonna vote Trump. So that's a fact right there. Yeah.
Hey, Elon said at the NYC Trump rally he's gonna start keeping the scoreboard of registered voters, and I've been seeing him post that scoreboard. And in the swing states, Republicans are winning, like in registered.
Elon is playing a big part in this.
You know, I think he is. And
Shout out
I
Elon.
really appreciate
I'm about to
that.
go buy a Tesla now.
We out of here, guys.
Cybertruck.